Hello and welcome to Righteous Gaming's YouTube channel. My name is Jeremiah, team captain of Righteous Gaming, and I am here with Andrew Wilborn, who recently topped the battle-hardened Orlando. And Andrew, tell me a bit about that tournament. What format was it, and
how did it was a Living Legend battle-hardened in Orlando, so that's pretty local to me. I'm from South Florida, so I knew I was going to want to go there. So and I knew that I liked playing Ira, and that I saw that she had topped the battle hardened in Singapore, so I figured I'd give it a go, and it ended up going pretty well.
I mean, you won the whole thing. That is really good.
First place is pretty good, I hear.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you can't go any higher than that, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing Flesh and Blood for? A nice chunk of time here?
Yeah, I'd say grand total about 2 years. Some of that was like some sporadic casual play during Tales of Aria and Uprising, and then I got more serious about it around Heavy Hitters.
So you loved Ira, you started getting a bit more serious about the game, and you decided, hey, there is a battle-hardened just a couple hours north of me, Living Legend, let's give it a shot. And was this your first Living Legend tournament?
I think so.
Like anything higher than like the ProQuest level, yeah.
Yeah, I did win a skirmish with Icelander in Living Legend back when Zen was the best deck and Icelander beat him. That was a bit of a triangle format. Yeah, not as balanced as LL is right now. LL is actually very balanced right now. I think it's very diverse.
Interesting thing.
Pretty cool.
Oh, that's really interesting thing to hear about. So before we get into like the overall meta game of it, you took Ira to this event.
Yep.
Tell me a bit about your deck list.
Yeah, so what I did was I saw that Naib had topped with Singapore, so the first thing I did to prepare was I just took his list, ran a couple games with it, and the first thing I noticed was that Belittle felt really clunky to me, and so one of the first things I did was after about maybe 5, maybe a little more games, I decided to take it out, and that ended up being a pretty good decision, I think. The thing about Belittle is you're either fetching red Minnowism, which means you have to play a red Minnowism in your deck. So it has a higher deck building cost, and red Minnowism's kind of, it's only 3 value, you have to close the chain. Or you're fetching the blue one. And the problem with fetching the blue one is you need to have Belittle in your hand, you need a slow-costed red in your hand that you can reveal to Belittle. You need an expensive red because you're going to fetch a blue one, and so you need something to use those resources on. And then you also want to be pitching a blue to Belittle initially because it costs 1 and you don't want to pitch a red to it. And so you kind of need 4 specific things in your hand in order for Belittle to actually be good when fetching a blue in the context of Ira. And so I decided that just isn't worth it. There's so many good go-again cards I can be running instead. And so that's what I did. One of the cards I added was Bleed Out, which I think is a bit slept on, at least a little bit. I mean, it's an unexplored format, so they would make sense that they're slept on cards, and I think Bleed Out is one of them.
Before we move forward, just to recap on the Belittle, you just think that Belittle itself is just too many hoops to jump through.
Too many hoops to jump through. It's not really consistent. You need a lot of things to line up for it to actually be good. And there's other cards that are just also good that are go-again attacks that you can play instead. Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're just taking a really good set of cards and just tacking it on to Ira, which was already kind of a good deck, right?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of felt like?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you need the blue to play the card. To go fetch a blue, that doesn't really make sense. That's
exactly, yeah. And you're not spending 2 blues very often, especially if you also have a like a cut through or whatever to reveal to Belittle. Because if you're revealing a blue to Belittle, now you're getting 3 blues, and it's just like now there's nothing I can do with these cards.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
So your mind was, this is clunky. I don't like this card. So you decided to go with Bleed Out as one of the replacements.
Yeah, Bleed Out was one of
How many copies?
3 Bleed Outs. One of the other things I did when I took Naib's list is I kind of there was a lot of 2-ofs, and I don't really like 2-ofs unless there's a good reason, and I didn't think there was a good reason for any of these 2-ofs. So I just kind of, I ended up moving to a lot of 3-ofs, and so most of my cards are 3-of. There's only a couple exceptions to that. I think Snatch and Warmongers, which Warmongers it has to be.
It's restricted.
Yeah. Yep.
Makes sense. So you're 2 of Snatch, you have 3 of Bleed Out.
Yep.
Really cool, really interesting. I actually looked at your list, which we're going to post down below in the description. So if you want to see it, it's there for you. Take a look at it.
Yep.
Follow along. I'm going to have it in the video too. You also had 6 other cards I thought was interesting that I didn't see in anyone else's Ira list.
Okay.
First one was Gravekeeping in red at 3.
Yeah.
Why were you running Gravekeeping?
So the reason it's at 3 is just because that's kind of how the sideboard ratios worked out, and I had space for 3. And so the idea is it's really good in the Ira mirror. I was kind of expecting there to be a lot of Iras. I think there weren't that many, although I did play an Ira mirror at the Battle Hardened during Swiss. And so if you banish your opponent's Zephyr Needle, that's obviously pretty good. And it also fits your curve well. It's a 1 for 5, so it kind of fits the deck anyway. And then the other big matchup is CYB. CYB New is a pretty big deck in the format, and there's a couple other, like, anybody can kind of play CYB, so, it kind of catches some of those as well.
Very nice. So it's like kind of an incidental thing. You could end up hitting something and taking some cards out. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's good for the mirror, and it's good for CYB opponents.
Yeah. Oasis, you have them at 3 of. I hadn't seen very many out there.
I think Naib was actually on Arcane Compliance instead of Oasis. I mean, they're both good cards. It's although I think, I don't know, I went with Oasis. Arcane Compliance is also a valid card. They're both pretty good. And it's because Kano is probably Ira's worst matchup. Kano in Living Legend has a lot of powerful things. And most of the other LL heroes have stuff like Shock Charmers, or they're a Shadow hero, and so they have all their Shadow stuff that they can use to deal with Kano. Ira doesn't really have anything for dealing with Kano. She just has to play generics, really, and then, like, Tide Flippers, which is basically, that's no better than Null Rune, really. And so Kano's a pretty spooky matchup, and so I wanted to make sure I had a chance in case I ran into any. Turned out he wasn't very heavily represented at the Battle Hardened. There was only one.
He was our local, too.
Which was our local, who, to be fair, he got a lot of wins against me in our skirmish. He beat me in our skirmish as Kano. And so I'm
hence the 3 Oasis.
And so then I went home and I was like, all right, yeah, I got to make sure I have Oasis and AB3. And I even added Null Rune gloves, or Spell Void gloves as well, just to make sure, which is a lot of slots that I didn't need, but, I think if you had to list a bad matchup for Ira, I think it would be that one. That's like the worst matchup for her. The hero I'm most afraid of was Kano.
Kano.
Yeah.
So we're there. Let's talk about the matchup spread a bit. Then we'll come back to maybe some things you might have done differently.
Sure.
So you come to this tournament. You say, I like Ira. I see Ira's doing well. Let me just take this list, modify it myself.
Yep.
And now you have this really cool, interesting list with a couple of extra tech cards. What matchups do you think were really good and what went really bad?
Yeah, so I think the really good matchups are Dromai is an obvious really good one. Anything, you get to farm the allies, you have poppers. I think Dash.io is also really good. I'm on a Race Face and Weakest Link, so I feel like between those tech cards, it's pretty easy to disrupt her and race her at the same time. So I'd say those are 2 of my better matchups. And then I think also Ira's she's just, a lot of what she does is just really consistent, good numbers. She has a lot of consistency, and you threaten mask. And so I think her spread is pretty, there's a lot of pretty slightly favored matchups. I think most of the field I'm not too worried about.
Very good.
Yeah.
So on the bad matchups, so good matchups, you're kind of like, okay, good spread. I can win these. This is all right. Bad matchups are Kano.
Yeah.
You're kind of spooked out by that. Any other matchups that you kind of sit down across and go, I'm not really happy about this?
Anytime my opponent is a Mystic hero, I'm always paranoid about getting pass-overed. I think Nu and Zen are both maybe slightly favored overall, but it's always terrifying knowing that you have to Passover exists, and if you get your needle banished at instant speed, it can be really bad, especially if it happens early.
So is that why you're on 3 needles?
Yeah, that's also why you run. Yeah, you want to run 3 needles. Also, Concealed Blade's just pretty good. Yeah. Sometimes even if you're not afraid of getting banished, you want to. If Concealed Blade's in your hand, you can use it to push over, get mask, flick the needle, draw a card. You can do a bunch of stuff with that.
Oh, that's really good then.
Yeah.
So do you feel like any of those, if you were to go back to the tournament or another Living Legend tournament and use the same exact list, are there any cards that just didn't perform that well that you would take out, replace, remove? What would you do?
Yeah, well, all of my extra Arcane Barrier and Oasis Respites did absolutely nothing for me that tournament. So I might be inclined to take some of those out, maybe drop the Oasises or the Null Rune, one or the other, maybe a little bit of both, and make room for maybe Shelter, I think would be a card that I think you could add that would make a lot of sense. I'm only on Sink Below for defense reactions, and there's a lot of on-hits in this format, so honestly, I think Shelter's a pretty good add if you want to find room for that.
Gotcha. So you would take out Oasis. Would you take out, so you're going to keep Gravekeeping in, or would you reduce its number?
I think Gravekeeping is the other card that I might want to get rid of. Maybe if for some reason I expected Kano to increase in representation, and I wanted to keep the AB, I think, and the Oasis. Gravekeeping is another card that I think I'm a little low on.
Yeah.
Because in the CYB matchups, Gravekeeping isn't really... It's only getting a little bit of value because you want the game to be short. If the CYB new takes you to second cycle and you use all 3 Gravekeepings and banish 3 CYBs, by that time, she's going to have found her Passover or her Sacred Art, and she's going to banish your Needle, and you're going to be in bad shape.
Yeah.
So you really need those games to be short. So Gravekeeping is only getting you so much value since it's a kind of a value over time thing when you banish a CYB.
So you're just trying to finish that matchup anyway, so Gravekeeping wouldn't have as much value there.
It's not super valuable. It's still good.
Yeah.
But,
It could stop it could be a 1 for 7, after the +1
For sure.
from Ira, then you banish a CYB, right?
Yeah, if you banish a CYB and then they play another CYB, then there you go. It's above rate.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, but you kind of don't really want that happening. Bleed Out worked really well.
Yeah,
really
Bleed Out
good.
is great. It is,
certified good.
I do think it's the worst go again card in the deck, so I do side it out sometimes. It's the only go again card that's in my sideboard, but I still think it's a really good card. It's really easy to make it cost 0 because if either of your needles hit, then there you go, you've done it. And even if they block both of them, you can flick a needle, hit them for 1, and now it's a 1 for 4. That's on rates. And also, if your opponent is on channel like Frigid, sometimes it costs negative value.
Wow.
And then it comes in for 0 even through Frostbites or channel like Frigid.
So all you ice haters out there, maybe consider playing Ira and throwing this card in your deck.
It's a little niche, but sometimes it comes up and it's like, haha, now it costs 0 even though it's under CLF.
Hey, if it comes out, and it works, it works, right?
It can be nice sometimes when it
big
lines
game
up.
winner.
Yeah.
So I was looking through your list and I noticed there were some cards missing. You're not running That All You Got, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the
yellow defense reaction.
Yeah, no, I'm not
draw
playing
card.
that card.
So you're not thinking of running that as tech into any other Iras or Ninjas or anything like that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, totally fair. So I get it. You don't like you said, Sync Below does everything you want, and if you're gonna run another
if I was gonna add a D-React, it would be Shelter.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Especially for the mirror when you're trying to stop like a flick or something, right?
Yeah. It's just the next best D-React, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I also noticed you weren't running Poison the Well, which
Nope.
Gravekeeping kind of feels like
I'm
that
on
anti.
Gravekeeping instead.
Right, so you're just running that instead of Poison the Well.
Yep.
Would you consider taking out Gravekeeping to put in the Poison the Well strictly for the blue 0 cost, right?
No, I think Gravekeeping is better because you get the splash damage in the mirror. So it hits CYB and it hits the mirror matchup. And I think that diversity is more important. And Gravekeeping is also 1 for 5s are good in Ira.
Yeah. No, that's true. Ira does love 1 for 5s.
Yeah, you go Needle, Gravekeeping, and I'm like, there you go. I threatened Mask. I got what is that? 10 damage off of 2 cards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good.
0's so good.
So, man.
Zephyr Needle's crazy.
So best card in the deck, Zephyr Needle.
Yes.
Obviously.
Then
just period.
Yeah, and then Red Up Sticks is probably the next best.
The things that make needles better is everything that makes it better. That makes a lot of sense. Like the card was banned before it saw the light of day for a reason,
for a good
people.
reason.
For a reason.
Yeah.
So the tournament itself, did you play against anybody notable, and how'd that go? Was it nerve-wracking?
Notable players that I know the names of. I'm sure I might have played against some other people.
So I know you. So we'll just talk about the top one.
Yes.
Evan Herndon.
Yeah, I played against Evan Herndon twice actually.
Yeah.
He was on chain. He was playing this Rainbow Belittle chain. It was pretty sweet. I hadn't really seen anything like that before, so I was fortunate to be able to pull through there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you sit down across from him. You're a little nervous, and then you pulled it off. How did it feel to win?
It felt great. I was like,
yeah.
It was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. First time getting first place at anything like this. Still no Living Legend points roll of honor to my name, but
Hey, but
I'll get it. I'm sure I'll get it now.
You've been on an awesome run lately.
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure.
You've been doing really well.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I got 37th at Nationals on Fang. I was the highest rated Fang at US Nationals. Then I went on to top 8, the Calling Singapore with Fang again. And then here I am at the Living Legend Battle Hardened getting first place with Ira.
Look at you.
All in a pretty short span of time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you're running red hot and you just gotta keep going and pushing. So
yeah, it's been great.
You're gonna go to possibly some more tournaments this year.
If I'm able to get the time off for it, I will go to Worlds if I can.
Yeah, you got that PTI.
Yeah,
so you gotta use it for
PTIs.
something. Oh, 2 now.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 PTIs. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? LL is a format. How do you feel about it?
I think the format is really diverse right now. There are so many different decks being represented. People thought Briar was going to be the best deck, and she was represented more heavily than the others, but then all these other decks showed up and just started beating up all the Briars, and none of them made top 8.
Amazing.
Starvo made a comeback. Chain made a comeback. Like,
wow.
I think the format's in a really diverse place, and I think it's still really unsolved. Like, my deck's pretty good, but like I don't think it's the most refined list ever, and I think honestly all the LL heroes have room for refinement, and the meta can still evolve a lot from here.
Very nice. So then you really feel like LL's in a good spot.
I think it's in a
lots
great
of
spot.
creativity.
For sure.
Better than Classic Constructed?
Well, CC just got a big BNR, so I have
true.
no idea
We
what
have
that
no
format's
clue what
going
it's
to look
looking
like.
like.
I mean, I'd say it was. I mean, I think it's objectively a little bit more diverse, just
Yes.
because it's so unexplored and not a lot of people are playing it. Whereas in CC, it's like we used to know that Slippy and Gravy were the best decks, and it was pretty obvious.
So Worlds is going to be really exciting then.
I would say so.
We're going to see all these crazy new decks popping up, all these new things.
Yeah, there's probably going to be at least
testing.
one breakout LL deck that no one's ever heard of, because
Yeah.
I don't think there's any big LL events between now and then.
There's probably, I think
There
there's
might
maybe
be a
couple.
Battle Hardened at some
There's a couple.
point.
It's nothing crazy, but yeah, the Worlds is going to be a really big.
Someone's probably going to say
Come on
something
out.
for Worlds,
Oh
though, I'm
my
sure.
goodness, definitely. Like without a doubt.
There's going to be some crazy stuff
Without
there.
a doubt.
Lots of room to explore. I'm sure someone's going to find a breakout deck. It's a really interesting format. I like it.
Nice. Well, any final thoughts?
No.
Cool. Well, do you have any like social media or any place people can follow you that you're active on? If not, that's cool
I'm
too.
active on Purple,
Cool.
but that's about it.
That's I've never heard of Purple, so where can people follow you on Purple?
And Purple Discord on.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
Purple Discord,
Yeah,
cool.
Purple Discord, yeah.
I thought it was some random thing.
No, I'm
okay,
active
so
there.
you're just like frequenting the Purple chat.
Yeah,
and
I
everything.
frequent the Fang channel usually.
Very
and
nice.
Then, like I'm in like the Dory channel and the Ira channel a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, go Fang Gang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fang
Fang
Gang.
Yeah, well, you can find me on YouTube at SideQuest Jerry. It's all one word. Look me up, comment and subscribe to that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, this channel, Righteous Gaming. This is Tyler's channel. This is the team's channel. We got a lot of fun stuff, interesting, planned for the next couple of months. So have a look at it. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.